So, namaskar and sincere thanks to each of you for joining. We are an online university offering courses in Hindu philosophy, spiritual care, yoga education, Ayurvedic studies, and performing arts. It is our distinct pleasure and honor to have Acharya Swami Vijayananda as our speaker today on a topic which is most enlightening and profound and simply the ultimate subject. I can't imagine a more profound subject than what we're going to talk about today. Vijayananda is known to most of you, but I want you to know that he is truly a scholar of Vedanta, Hinduism, and physics. He is the founder of Adi Shankara Advaita Ashram, a not-for-profit organization dedicated to teaching and popularizing ancient wisdom of India. Swamiji, along with Swamiji, has built Bhujageshwar Rudraksh Mandir right here in Florida. He has also established two ashrams in India, Tiruvanmalai Tirumular Ashram, and then another ashram in Karnataka near Udupi. Swami Vijayananda is a graduate of physics from Madurai University. His initial training in yoga and meditation was in 1976 at Maharshi Mahesh Yogi in Rishikesh. In July 2016 and again in July 2017, he completed the holy Kailash Mansarovar Yatra and did parikrama walking around the Kailash mountain. Currently, he's teaching online Vedic classes that many of you I know are involved in, and he is giving spiritual discourses. In February 2018, Swami Vijayananda was ordained to the Sannyasa order by Swami Jyotirmananji, a direct disciple of Swami Shivananji, Maharaj of Divine Life Society in Rishikesh. By profession, Vijayananda has a life beyond his spiritual endeavors, although we sometimes don't know how he does it all. He is a state of Florida licensed medical physicist. For the last 20 years, he has been with 21st Century Oncology, now USA Genesis Care, as a medical health physicist and is part of the oncology team involved in delivering effective treatments for cancer patients. IHU is indeed very, very fortunate to have Swamiji as one of our trustees and spiritual advisors. We are very grateful to him for giving him his guidance. And without further delay, on behalf of all of us here, Swamiji, we welcome you with a warm namaskaram, warm welcome, and please expand our consciousness by sharing the deep meaning of Sivoham. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Shifalaji. Om Nidehe Sarva Vidyanam Vishajhe Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshina Murtaye Namaham Smriti Purhananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Shifalaji could not have chosen a better topic, because this one word sums up what Hinduism is all about. There's no exaggeration here. It's just one word, Sivoham, sums up what the entire gamut of Hinduism is all about. So we will try to understand in as much as possible what is Sivoham and why Sivoham is all about Hinduism. And then the word in this aham, I, what is the concept of I as we know it, and what should be the concept of I as it should be. And then who really is that I? Who really is that you? As per our Shastras, as per the real teachings of Hinduism, who is the real you? And then we will finally come to where it all started, who popularized it. Adi Shankaracharya popularized this particular word, Sivoham, when he met his guru. So we will see that. So there are two words here, Shiva plus Aham. Shivaha, that's how you split it. Shivaha, signifying consciousness. Shivaha means also Mangalam, auspiciousness. And Shiva also means love. There was this great saint in Tamil. His name is Tirumular. And this is what he said. அன்பும் சிவமும் இரண்டென்பர் அறிவிலர், அன்பே சிவமாவது யாவரும் அறிந்திலர், அன்பே சிவமாவது யாவரும் அறிந்தபின் அன்பே சிவமாய் அமர்ந்திருந்தாரே. The ignorant say that love and Shiva are different. The ignorant. இரண்டு means two. Anbum Shivamum இரண்டு என்பர் அறிவிலர். The ignorant say that the love and Shiva are two different things. Not many know that love is Shiva. So one definition of Shiva is love. And once having known that love is Shiva, becoming that Sivoham, they are in that Asmi state. Sivoham, Shivam Asmi, Brahma Asmi state. So that was that point. So Shiva also means love, and Shiva also, as per the Upanishadic definition, Shivam Shantam, absolute peace. Okay, Guruji, Swamiji, where can I find him? Right in you. Right in you. Where? Chaturtham is in you, in that fourth state of consciousness. We know waking, dreaming, and sleeping, but there is a Turiya that in you that witnesses all this. So he is in you. We will talk about it a little bit later. So he is in you. That Shivam, Shantam, Chaturtham is in you. And who is he? Saha Atma. He is your Atma. Savijñeyaha. Know him to be your Atma. Savijñeyaha. Saha Atma. He is your Atma. He is your Turiya. And what is he? He is Advaitam. There is no duality here. You and one, him are one and the same. Shiva Aham, Sivoham. Therefore, as far as the definition of Shiva is concerned, there is no problem. Clear-cut definition. In the scriptures, in the Upanishads, this is Shiva. But the problem comes in the moment we start defining that I. This is where all the problem starts. Concept of I. Who do we think we are? What we think, what is the concept of we think we are? And we'll see how this Mandukya Upanishad defines Lord Shiva. Nantha prajñam na bhayas prajñam, no bhayata prajñam na prajñanaganam, na prajñam na aprajñam. Adrishtam, can see him. Abhyavaharyam, can't talk about that, but we do. Agrahyam, can grasp that. He can be in that state, but intellectually is beyond intellect, is beyond mind, so he can grasp that intellectually. Agrahyam, alakshanam, there's no lakshanas, there's no attributes. Achintyam, beyond mind. You can think about it, you can contemplate about it, because it's a state of being. Okay? Can I teach about it? No. Avyupadeshyam. Avyupadeshyam. So what is that? Ekatma pratyayasaram, that's the essence of everything, the essence of all your mind, essence of all your intellect, essence of all the consciousness. That is consciousness itself, awareness itself, pure awareness, Shuddha Chetana, which is beyond your mind, beyond your intellect, where intellect doesn't reach. And what is that? Prapancha Upashamam, where this whole cosmic creation comes and rests in there. Wow. And who is that? That is Shivam, that is Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtham, the fourth state in you. Advaitam, no duality there. Shantam, and that's your Atma. Sahatma, Savijñeyaha, know him to be that Atma. That is Shivam. Beautiful definition. Anta prajñam, it's neither internal or external, nor bahishya prajñam. There's ubhayata prajñam, that which is neither external nor internal. The prajñana ganam is not a dense consciousness. And naprajnam, it's neither consciousness nor unconsciousness. It's neither cognitive nor uncognitive. That is why, right in the beginning, this Upanishad definition gave you this warning, alakshanam. However, you might try to describe it as consciousness, no consciousness. Alakshanam. You can't describe that. Adrishtyam avyaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam adrishtyam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam shantam shivam chaturtham manyante. That is you. Saha atma savigneya. Good. Why this Sivoham? Why Hinduism is all this essence of the Sivoham teaching? Why the Sivoham is all about Hinduism? We have to start from certain basics. And these are the basics that sets apart Hinduism from other faiths and other religions. What are the basics? The basics are, what is the purpose of any religion? Any religion. Answer 3 questions. Before I go there, let me tell you this. You don't need a religion to tell you how to behave, do you? I don't think so. How to behave, common sense. What is that common sense? You don't do to that other person what you don't want him or her to do to you. Very simple common sense. So you don't need a religion to teach you how to behave. Do's and don'ts. No. What do you need a religion for? Answers these 3 questions. What are those 3 questions? Who am I? Question 1. Question 2. What is everything else around me, including human beings, wives, children, friends, family, this, that, office? What is all this? Who are these? What are these things, animals? What are they? Who are they? And 3rd important question, is there a God? Is there a God? And who is he? How does he relate to this, me, and this, everything around me? And Hinduism, the only religion, not only answers this question, but throws the challenge at you. Ultimately, all said and done, what is the ultimate teaching of Hinduism? We have all the scriptures, thousands of scriptures. If I start naming them, you will lose count. Start with the Vedas, the Veda Angas, Shat Darshanas, Atara Puranas, main one, 108 Upanishads, Veda Angas, different Vedas, Dhanur Veda, and then Jyotish, Chandas, Vyakaranas, you name it, all that goes together. Shat Darshanas, Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya Vaisheshika, on and on and on and on. It's only in Sanskrit. Bhagavad Purana, huge. Only in Sanskrit. You go to every region, every state, every language has its Vedas. Every language has its Vedas. Not kidding. Whether it's Hindi, whether it's Marathi, Jnaneshwari, Hindi, Tulsidas, Tulsi Ramayan, Namami, Shamishana, Nirvana, Rupam, Vibhum, Vyapakam, Brahma Vedas, Vedas, complete Vedas. Same way, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, Annamacharya. Every language. So there's these scriptures, countless. But so only one teaching, ultimate teaching. And that was summed up by Kabir very beautifully. लाली देख न मैं गई, जित देखूं तित लाल, लाली मेरे लाल की मैं भी हो गई लाल. Sums up the entire Hinduism there. I went looking for my Lord. Step number 1. Did pujas, did bhajan, chanted thousands of stotras for thousands of hours. Took me all this time to realize what? Jita dekun tita lala. Wherever I saw my Lord. The trees, the water, the ocean, sky, everywhere was my Lord. Then what? Then what happened? Lali mere lal ki, main bhi ho gayi lal. I realized that what I saw everywhere is nothing but my own self. The cognizer, the cognized, and the process of cognition all became one, ending in that one ultimate reality that I am him, Sivoham. And Bharatiya is a Tamil poet, he said so beautifully. Ka kaisiraginile nandalalam Undan kariyaniram tondrudada nandalala, oh nandalala, oh nandalala. I look at a crow and I see you in the wings of the crow, the color of the wing of the crow. பார்க்கும் மரங்கள் எல்லாம் நந்தலாலா உந்தன் பச்சை நிறம் தோன்றுதடா நந்தலாலா. Wherever I see the trees, oh Nandalala, I see you in the green. காக்கை குருவி எங்களினம், கடலும் மலையும் எங்கள் ஜாதி, பார்க்கும் இடமெல்லாம் யாமின்றி வேறில்லை. The crows and the birds are all of my clan. The Panchabhutas, the ocean and the mountains and the rocks, they're all me. Wherever I see, I don't see anything but me. The ultimate teaching. There is no more seer and the seen and the process of seeing. This is what we call Triputi in Advaita. The seer and the seen, no dichotomy there. God is different sitting somewhere and I'm sitting here. God is sitting there with a whip in his hand to punish me. Hinduism doesn't teach that. That's why where the religions were very conservative, very dogmatic, there came a very bold man like a lion shooting out of his den and roared ferociously in 83 in Chicago. What was then called a blasphemy, but he was so bold, he just roared it out. It's a sin to call a man a sinner, Swami Vijayananda. You are all the divinity. You are all the divine. You are the lion in the cloak of a sheep. So his clarion call was awake, like Shankara did. Tasma Jagrata. Awake, arise. For what? Roar like a lion. Don't bleat like a goat. That's Hinduism. Ultimately, you are the divine. To sum up in one sentence, ultimate teaching of Hinduism is that there is not only one God, but only God. One line, ultimate teaching of Hinduism. What do we mean by this? All said and done, in that ultimate reality is one. Parabrahman Shivam, Sivoham. one God. What do we mean by only God? Whatever is here is only Him. Go to jewelry store, Akshaya Triti day. Now it's all locked down, but still people go. You see all these thousands of ornaments, thousands of designs, hundreds of designs, glitter. Everything is that gold. So not only one gold, only gold. Not only one God, only God. That's why Hinduism gives you this enormous freedom. Enormous freedom. Go to a village is worshipping a tree. Well, good. You can't stop him because you go and ask you, Guruji, you're the one who said God is everywhere. Only God. Why can't I worship a tree? Yes, my friend, you can. Guruji, why are you stopping me from worshipping this rock? Because you said God is in there. Guruji, why are you stopping me from worshipping this rat? Can't stop him. Why are you stopping me from worshipping a trident? Because he's in this iron piece. Trident too, yes. Why are you stopping me from worshipping an elephant? No, I can't stop you. Why are you stopping me from worshipping a river? No, I can't. Village. Number 2, come to a little town, small mandir. The pujari doesn't know much of the mantras, but still there's a little statue. Says some words of prayer. He's also Hindu. We don't throw him out. We don't throw the villager out because he's worshipping a sickle. By the same token, go to Badrinath. Yogis in meditation, deep meditation for 13 years to find that Sivoham. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Tapas. Finally, end of 13 years, he found that Sivoham. He got enlightened. Wakes up. Found God. Very easy. He wakes up, the first thing he does, look at a tree. Oh my Lord, you're here. Look at a rock. Oh my Lord, you're here. Look at that monkey. Oh my Lord, you're in that monkey. Oh Lord, you're in the... What the villager was doing, same thing. What took 13 years for this yogi? Villager was doing it in faith. Each and every one of them is a Hindu. Because the ultimate teaching is not only one God, but only God. Okay. Now, number 2. This is not only logically correct as per our teaching. We practice what we preach. We don't stop the villager. We don't throw him out because that's what we preach. So we practice that. Not only practically, logically correct, but we are psychologically correct too. What do you mean, Guruji? You all have children. And the fun is at the breakfast time table. This one wants this cereal, that one wants this cereal. And the fun is when you take them to an ice cream parlor, this one wants this flavor, that one wants that flavor. Even the twins have different tastes. Same genes, same environment, same upbringing. Why do their likes and dislikes are different? Vasanas. But that's a different topic. But the fact is, each one of us are different. And therefore, you can't force a straight jacket on each one of them. Therefore, Hinduism doesn't force you into a straight jacket. I like my God very strong with 10 hands. Yes, you can have your God. I like Hanumanji like Pailwan. Very strong, who can lift a mountain. Yes, you can have Hanumanji. But I like Ganesha. Doesn't move much, gets things done from wherever he is. Right? You know the story? The competition between Ganesha and Lord Subramanya? When Naradaji always starts the trouble, right? Naradaji, I don't know how much time we have, just keep going on. I was already into 10:30. Okay, we'll skip the story. So this is Ramana Maharishi, Upadesha Saram. In his 30 verses, He condenses the entire teaching of Hinduism. This is one of the verses. Bheda bhavanat sohamityasau bhavanabhita pavani mata. Bheda bhavanat, better than the dichotomy. Bhavana abhida, that non-dichotomic, that unity concept of Sivoham is held to be the most holiest and the sanctified principle. Should be. So that is Pavani Mata. Pavani Mata means the sublime principle is that Veda Bhavanat Soham Ityasau. I am that. Soham Sivoham. Veda Bhavanat Soham Ityasau. Bhavana Bida. Pavani Mata. So, now comes the real deal. Theory. Not only one God, but only God. But you know what? This is what all this sets Hinduism apart from other faiths, like I said. Hinduism throws this challenge at you. You are that ultimate Lord. You are that God. You are made in that spark of that God. You are that. Okay? What should I do? Here is a challenge for you. Realize that. Prove it. You are that. How can I do that? Here. Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga. Whatever suits you, you pick it. So Hinduism is just not the social gathering in a temple on a Sunday. Nah. Doesn't cut it. Ultimately, this is where everyone should take up this challenge and realize that Sivoham, this should be the teaching, this should be the emphasis. All that's okay. Everything is good. You know, it's like a rocket that goes to the moon, a rocket boosters. All that we have in Hinduism, very good, yes, but we should not lose that ultimate goal of that moon, that Sivoham. The rocket boosters are all what? Your upasanas, your rituals, your chantings. But we should not get lost in the boosters. The booster, what does a booster do? Boosts the rocket up to a certain level and falls off. Second booster, another level, falls off. Third booster, falls off. Once you reach the destination, there is no more booster on that satellite. It just goes around. These are all little vehicles to take you there. We shouldn't get lost on the service station or the rest stop. You're going to New York, driving to Orlando. Don't sit in a nice resting area and say, this is so pleasant, I'm going to stay here. No, you'll never reach your goal. So, Hinduism puts the ball in your court. You are empowered. Whatever you do is your responsibility. Theory of karma. It's in your hand. The ball is in your court. How you deal with it. And here is a challenge we throw at you. However you take it up, you deal with it. Okay? Now, at the end, everything that we know in Hinduism, the upasanas, the chanting, the homam, the yajnam, all that, pulled down, just unplugged. At the end, Vedas have these 4 different portions. Samhitas, where the mantras, the brahmanas, they tell you how to use those mantras in prayojan, like how to do abhishekam with those mantras, how to do homam with those mantras, the brahmana portion. Then we have Aranyakas, where the Upanishads come. And the moment the Aranyakas come, you know what they tell you? My friend, whatever we have been telling you up to now, it's no good. What do you mean? You spent so much time doing all this, now you're telling me this is no good? Yes. Why? Na karmana na prajaya dhanena. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena. None of this. We told you how you can do a havan to fulfill your prayers, to get progeny, putra kameshyagam, to get wealth. Kubera, Lakshmi Kubera Yogam, Havan, Lakshmi Kubera Yajnam, Rudram, we told you how to use it, all this. But none of this, neither your wealth, nor your progeny, nor your achievements is going to get you to where you need to go. Na karmana na prajayadane na tyage neike amrtatvam hanashuhu Varenakam nihitam guhayam vibrajate tatyatayha vishanti Vedanta vijnana sunischitarta sannyasa yogat yataya suddha sattva aha He brahma loke para antakale paramrutat parimuchanti sarve edakram vipapam parame esmabhutam Yat pundarikam paramadya saggastam tathravidakram gaganam vishokastasmin yadantas tadupasitavyam Yo vedado svaraprokta vedante cha pratishtitah tasya prakritilinasya yapparasya maheshwaraha. Maheshwara, that's where it ends. Therefore, should I leave Guruji, should I leave everything and run to the forest? No. That's not the scriptures teach you. Not even Bhagavad Gita tell you that run to the forest. No. Even though we told you all this, how to do this, none of this is going to come and give you a hand or help you to get where you are. Therefore, what should I do? Internally renounce all these. These are little vehicles to get you there. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Based on dharma, fulfill your desires. Make money, artha, make money. Based on what? Dharma, artha. And then make money and then fulfill your desires, kama. Based on dharma, artha, kama. Then what? The final goal, moksha. Therefore, go through the steps, but that internal detachment, this, none of this mine. I am Sivoham, I am not this. I've been given a duty, I've been assigned a responsibility. So, let me go through this like a drop of water on a lotus leaf. Stay on the leaf, dance around the leaf, don't fall off the leaf. Good. So, ultimate teaching, nothing is everything. Nothing. That Vyakta Vyakta Nirupitancha Paramam. This is Shiva's fifth phase. Yesterday I was discussing this in one of another lectures. Vyakta Ishana Mukham, the Urdhva Mukham. Vyakta Vyakta Nirupitancha Paramam Shatrinsa Tattvadikam Tasmad Uttara Tattvam Aksharamiti Dhyayam Sada Yogi Bihi. When they describe the fifth phase of Lord Shiva, he says, you are unmanifest, can be seen. Nothing. And that nothing, avyakta, that nothing unmanifest. What happened to it? It became vyakta. This whole cosmos came out of you, Lord Shiva. So, that nothing became everything. So, what is this everything? This everything is nothing. All this is a show. As the Upanishad describes Lord Shiva as Jalavan. So Ekaha is the only one. Jalavan, and is a magician. Udbhave Sambhave. He is the only one who remains before creation. He is the only one who remains after this entire creation is resolved back. He is the eternal one. He is a magician who stays behind the show. The magic disappears. So, nothing is everything, everything is nothing. He is Kalatit, beyond time. Kala Bhairav, he swallows Ashtakoti Trimshad Bhairavas. He swallows time. He swallows everything. Neither you nor me nor any one of this can escape from the time. Grinds. Present is past and past is present. And what is the future? It's both past and the present. So time is one dimension. Kalagni Rudraya. A point, a dot, that is a cosmos in itself, and a cosmos that is just a point. That's Hinduism teaching. So, what is Shankara's teaching? Adhyasa. Whole universe is a projection of your mind. Physics has validated that. That's another lecture. Hopefully we'll schedule one of those. Physics and Vedanta. Physics has validated, word for word, what we have been teaching for thousands of years. So, this phrase is from one of the great scientists. The universe is a self-excited circuit. That's what we have been saying. Adhyasa is a projection of your mind. Now we have proofs for that. Good. There's another great scripture called Ribhu Gita. This is what Ribhu Gita says. Idam sarvam chitta shesham shuddhatvaka malikritam. Why is that we are not able to realize that Sivoham? Because the mind stuff. Idam sarvam, everything that is here that you think that you see is a mind stuff. Chitta shesham, remnants of your mind. And what does it do? It muddies the pure consciousness. Shuddhatvaka malikritam. Shuddha, not Shuddhatva Kamalikritam. No, Shuddhatvaka Malikritam. The pure conscience is muddied up by these thought processes. Therefore, Evam Sarvam Parityajya Vismrtva Shuddha Kashtavat. Be in this world like a dry wood. If you scold the dry wood, it's not going to react. So be in that, complete detached in this world. So why be in that like that? Because when your pure conscience is muddied by these thoughts, I am this, I am that, I am that, then the problem comes in. What is I am this, I am that? 2-year-old, you're maybe a foot or 2 feet maximum. Then you thought that was you. 10-year-old, 4 feet, 3.5. Then you thought you're Ram Singh, yes, Ram Singh. Ram Singh now 16 years old. That is Ram Singh. 20 years old, that's also Ram Singh. Who is the real Ram Singh? At 2-year-old, he thought he was 2 feet. At 10-year-old, he thought he was 3.5 feet Ram Singh. At 16-year-old, he thought he was 5 feet Ram Singh. 20-year-old, he thought 5.5. Who is the real Ram Singh? The real Ram Singh cannot be something that changes. But that's what we think. That's what we are. You know, when we think who you are, we identify with the body first. Me. So tall, this is how I look like. And then next with our qualifications, our possessions, then our relationships. These are all identification. But every one of these is a thought. I'm 2 feet tall, thought. I'm 5 feet tall is a thought. I am 6 feet tall is a thought. I'm a physicist is a thought. I'm a businessman is a thought. I'm a doctor is a thought. You were not a doctor when you're 10-year-old, but still you were there. You thought that was you. I'm this Mercedes Benz. How are you? Hello. I'm Mercedes Benz 2020. That's what we identify with. That's what this problem of I. Shiva, there's no problem. You can clearly define Shiva. But when it comes to define I, there's more problems, more and more problems. I can go and talk about this for hours. I, Ram Singh, thinks this is, let's say Ram Singh is 35 years old. That, forget about what he was 2010. But let's fix Ram Singh at 35 years old. 35-year-old Ram Singh. I am 5'10". Good. I am this pharmacist. And I'm a good man. I do good. I go to temple every Sunday. So Ram Singh has a concept of who he is. I look like this. So that is image, mental image. That's what he's identifying with, all these thoughts. We fix that at 35 years, right? On a particular day. So whatever thought he had on that day, that's what he's identifying with. So that is Ram Singh, image 1. Swapna Singh, Ram Singh's wife. You go and ask Swapna Singh, who is Ram Singh? Swapna Singh's image of Ram Singh is not going to be the same as Ram Singh's image of Ram Singh. Ram Singh 1 is what Ram Singh thinks of himself. Ram Singh 2 is what his wife thinks of himself. He says, I'm a good man. You go and ask his wife. Ram Singh 2. Ram Singh 2. Already we have 2 images here. Same thing. Swapna Singh thinks of herself, image 1. Swapna Singh 1. And then what Ram Singh thinks of Swapna Singh is Swapna Singh 2. And then the children come in the picture. The children, when they were 7 years old, they thought Ram Singh was the greatest hero. When they're 17 years old, Ram Singh, that changed. But let's fix it at 17 years old. So in one family, forget, I'm not even going to office. So Ram Singh goes to work. Somebody likes him, another image, Ram Singh 3. Somebody who doesn't like him, another image, Ram Singh 4. His boss, Ram Singh 6. So Ram Singh has 6 images already. These are all mental concepts of Ram Singh. Same thing. Swapna Singh has 6 concepts, images. Swapna Singh 1, Swapna Singh 3. And then the children think of. So what Ram Singh thinks of himself is not what Swapna Singh thinks of himself. What Ram Singh thinks of himself is not what his eldest son Kuldeep Singh thinks of himself. 20,000 images, and we are interacting with these images. Far away from the real you. And all because of the thought. That is why Patanjali very clearly says in the beginning of his Yoga Sutra, what is yoga? Yoga is not standing upside down on your head, not bending over backwards, my friend. What is yoga then? Chitta vritti nirodha. Your mental concepts have to go. Why they have to go? Because the mental concepts are there, you're going to keep identifying with them. So what if they are gone? Tata drishtaha swarupe avasthanam. Then you are going to be in your real self. What is that self? Sivoham. And there's nothing to identify. And there are no chitta vrittis. What are you going to identify with? What remains is that pure consciousness. Tata drishtaha swarupe avasthanam. Then the drishta. Patanjali uses the word drishta, witness, not as, it doesn't say yogi, drishta. Then you are a witness to everything. The Turiya Chetana, you are established in the Turiya Chetana. That's what Bhagavan also says. Yogastha kuru karmani, Arjuna. Established in that yoga, Arjuna perform actions. What is yoga, Bhagavan ji? Bhagavan ji, batao mujhe yog kya hai? अरे यार मैं क्या बताऊं, चलो पतंजलि के पास. पतंजलि जी कहते हैं योग चित्त वृत्ति निरोध है. योग तो उस स्थिति में होके काम करो. योगस्थ कुरु कर्माणि, डोंट रन टू फॉरेस्ट, कुरु कर्माणि, परफॉर्म एक्शन. हाउ? योगस्थ होके काम कर, शुद्ध चेतना में बैठ के काम कर. निर्द्वंद्वो नित्य सत्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेमो. So, that's the goal of all the teachings. That is the essence of all the teachings, that Sivoham. So long as that stage is not realized, or at least intellectually grasped to some extent, there will always be issues. You'll be running around like a dog chasing its tail in this world, get caught up in this world, hyper, tensed up, lost in this image of who we are. And then arrogance comes in. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. Some other topic. Oh yeah, I have to tell you this. You know, there was this beautiful lyricist in Canada. His name is Venkatesha Murthy. This is what he said. Look at this. Ishtu kala uttigiddu ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೆರೆತರು ಅರಿತೆವೇನು ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಂತರಾಲವ. We have been with this body and this mind and this consciousness for what? 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 80 years. But you really know who you are? No. We have been living with this Shivam all our life. Ishtikala ottigiddu. You are stuck with him. That's Shivam, your Atma. Sahatma savijnayaha. Did you really know him? No. And this poet gives some beautiful analogies. Beautiful analogies. Kadala mele saviraru mailisagiyu ನೀರಿನಾಲ ತಿಳಿಯತೇನು ಹಾಯಿ ಧೋನಿಗೆ. The boat traverses this ocean for thousands of miles. Does it ever know the depth of the ocean? No. What a poetry, huh? Same thing with the story with us. We traverse with this Shivatvam in us all our life. Do we know what we are riding upon? Sadly, no. Another beautiful analogy. Sadakala tabbuvante mele bhagiyu mannu muttu dorakitenu neeli bhanige. Even though the sky always seems to be touching the earth at some point, the earth will never be able to touch the sky. Saviraru mukada cheluva ಹಿದಿದು ತೊರೆಯೋ ಒಂದದಾರು ಉಲಿಯತೆ ಕನ್ನಡಿಯ ಪಲಿಗೆ. The mirror reflects so many beautiful imagery. You think it's able to retain at least one of them? No. We go through our life and there are moments when we get flashes of this infinity. When you're amidst a beautiful nature, oh my God, this is Lord, this is you. Or when you're in a beautiful temple without chit-chatting and without your mind running like a cell phone in front of a deity, when you're quiet and look at the deity and admire its beauty. And these are moments like you reflect that. But you think you retain that? Like this mirror. We don't. So, Guruji, what's the solution? I'm going to skip all this because we're almost coming up on time. 1 more minute to go. This is a state of Asmi. The problem is this, like Patanjali says, why this is Guruji? Why we are not able to, even though we're riding on this boat for thousands of years, why we don't know the depth of it? This is why. Anitya, Asuchi, Dukkha, Anatmasu. Anitya, something that is not eternal, something that is transient, something that is fleeting, something that is transient, something that is fleeting, something that is not permanent. Anitya, Asuchi, something that is not pure. Dukkha, suffering. Anatma, something that is not Atma. What we do, we think that fleeting, the transient to be eternal, Nitya. We took that something that is impure to be pure, Suchi. Asuchi is pure, Suchi. Anitya is Nitya. Asuchi is Suchi. And Dukkha is Sukha. And Anatma is Atma. What is Anatma? The body is Anatma. And we identify with the body thinking Atma. This is it. So this is the cause of the problem. Avidya Ignorance is taking the non-eternal, impure, evil, the non-Atman to be eternal, pure, good, and as Atman. You think, and Shiva will run far away from me. So how to realize that Sivoham? Not by these lectures, not by intellectual understanding, not by these techniques that are sold on the market for thousands of dollars, old wine in a new bottle, none of that. You have to do the dance. You have to walk the walk. Nobody can do it for you. Those gurus are not there anymore. Even if they are there, they don't come out on market. It's your baby. Spirituality is your baby. The challenge of Hinduism is you take it up and you do it. Neither your children will do it for you, nor a spouse is going to do it for you, nor your family, anybody. Nobody is going to do it for you. You may sacrifice all your life for them, but this is something that you have to do it for. You have to do it. Otherwise, like I said, the vicious cycle of a dog chasing its tail. Now you have to experience the Turiya. What is the Turiya? We experience it every night. Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti, waking, dreaming, and sleeping. And then you go to, then in sleep, deep sleep, then you wake up and you say, I slept very good. How did you know you slept very good? How? Somebody was awake, right? In the background. Let's say 10 o'clock at night, usually you go to sleep at 11. The switch of your awareness is turned off at 11, then you hit the bed, you're gone. Then when you wake up at 5 in the morning, the switch of your awareness is turned back on. You're up. So the switch was turned off between 10 and 5. If the switch was turned off between 10 and 5, there is no way you would know how you slept. No way. So the switch was on. What switch? The Turiya. An awareness, the Chetana. Shivam, Shantam, Turiyam. Advaitam, Anyante, Sahatma, Savijnaya. So that witness was witnessing whether you're sleeping. That witness was witnessing your dreaming, because you're seeing yourself in your dream. Oh, I was going there. So who was the I who was going there, and who was the I who was seeing that I was going there? I was dreaming. Who was the I who was seeing that you? Because you are in the dream. How would you see yourself if you are in the dream? Unless somebody uses a video camera and plays it back to you. You were watching it. You're watching yourself. So that Chetana, the Turiya, is the permanent state. That's a witness state. That is Sivoham state. How do we go there, Guruji? Yes, every day. Do a little bit of quieten your static mind. Experience it. There are all these techniques all over the place. Simple breathing exercise, relaxation techniques. Swami conducts his Yoga Nidra classes. People experience the Turiya in that yoga state. Not only experience Turiya, they're beautiful experiences. Simple techniques. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars and get nothing for just emptied your wallet. That's all you did. Very simple. These guys are selling whatever is available. Sivoham technique or Soham technique has been available for thousands of years. Somebody's repackaging it, selling you. And Shambhavi Mudra is available in all the Yoga Shastras. Somebody is repackaging it and selling it for thousands of dollars. Marketing. But nobody can do that for you. Take it from me. Lord Shiva, just repeat this mantra, Sivoham, Sivoham. Chant Dasa Sloki. Chant Nirvana Shatakam. Nirvana Dashakam. These are the two main works of Adi Shankaracharya. Because let's come to that and wrap it up real quick, because we came up on the time already, 5 minutes over. So where this is all started, this is where it all started. When Adi Shankara left his home, a 12-year-old boy from Kaladi in Kerala, traveled a distance of 2,000 miles to Madhya Pradesh, near Narmada River. Shankara took his own sannyasa. because we was in the river and he said, Mom, if you don't give me sannyasa, the crocodile will eat me up. So mother said, I would rather have you alive. So then he said, okay, you can take sannyasa. He took his own sannyasa right there, but then he had to formalize it and find the guru. He has to go through the steps of Hinduism, as great as he was, because Shankara was already a realized saint, not more than a realized saint. He was an Sakshat, an Amsha, or Lord Shiva's himself. Because before he came, he performed so many miracles. Like a 4-year-old, he turned the course of a river around to flow by the house so the mother could take bath when she was sick. And he made Lakshmi pour golden amlakas, golden gooseberries rain, 7-year-old, on and on. So then he need to go through the steps of Hinduism. He didn't want to break any rules. He didn't want to break any tradition. So seeking a guru, he travels as 2,000 miles in 1,200 years ago. In the forest, nobody to see, give him a cup of milk. The rain, the forest, the sun, the animals. He walked 30 miles a day to cover a distance of 2,000 miles in 2 months. And reaches his guru. And when he reaches his guru, the river is in flood. Narmada is in flood and the river is on the guru is on the other shore, Govinda Padacharya. So how is he going to go there? And the guru is in samadhi. And the flood level is rising up to where the cave is. So he would be swept away. So all the disciples are worried and then they are paranoid. So Shankara sees all the drama from this side of the river, puts his kamandal in the river, contains the entire flood of Narmada in his kamandal. Then walks over. Then the chelas, बहुत हल्ला मचा रहे हैं. ओ ये बच्चे ने आपको बचा दिया. छोटा लड़का बचा दिया आपको. Then the guru opens his eyes. क्या हलचल हो रहा है इधर? Then he opens his eyes. He says, who are you? That's when all this comes about. And Shankara didn't say who he was. He said who he was not. Who he was not. This is what he said who he was. But who he was not. Manobuddhyahankara chittani naham. Manobuddhyahankara chittani naham. Chidananda rupam Sivoham Sivoham. Chidananda rupam Sivoham Sivoham. Na bhumir na toyam na tejo na vayu. Nakam nendriyam vana tesham samuhah. I'm none of this. I'm not this mind that I'm not this buddhi. I'm not this I. Ahankar means not gamandiya. Ahankar means जो मैं समझ रहा हूं, जिसको मैं समझ रहा हूं, वो भी मैं नहीं हूं. The I that I think I am, I'm not that I. So who are you? तो कौन हो तुम? Chidananda Rupam Sivoham Sivoham. Then in the Dasa Sloki he put more emphasis. Shiva Kevaloham. I am only Shiva. Shiva Kevaloham. Guruji, question here. If this is what he said, Sivoham, so for 32 years, Shankara drummed Advaita Vedanta. What is Advaita Vedanta? You know, Advaita Dindima. Advaita what? Aham Brahmasmi Dhum Dhum Dhum. Tattvamasi Dhum Dhum Dhum. I am Atma Brahma Dhum Dhum Dhum. Sarvam Kalidam Brahma Dhum Dhum Dhum. Prajnanam Brahma. Everything is Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. क्या हो गया गुरुजी? इन्होंने तो अभी शिवोहम कह रहे हैं यहाँ. He doesn't say Aham Brahmasmi. When his guru asked who you are, he didn't say Aham Brahmasmi. तो ये तो बोल रहे हैं कि मैं शिव हूँ. Did Shankara tell a lie rest of his life? The only time he spoke the truth was this. When he met his guru, guru asked him who he was. It was not a lie. But the purpose of Shankara's incarnation was to unite Hindus, save Hinduism from itself. There were 6 sets of Hinduism. Shaivam, Vaishnavam, Shaktam, Ganapatyam, Sauram, Kaumaram. Fighting against each other. So other religions took strong hold all over India. So much so deep south. Huge statues of other religious saints. Sravana Balagola. So Shankara had to unite the Hindus first. So if he had kept saying Sivoham rest of his life, the other 5 sects would not have liked him and bye-bye. So he was a very practical statesman. So he took the safest path, said, Aham Brahmasmi, Brahman. So where he accommodated everything. So even though there are other philosophies, Advaitam is the supreme philosophy. Why? Because each of the other advocates of the other philosophy, like Vishishtadvaitam, Dvaitam, they're all specialized in one area. So that's what they advocate. Whereas Shankara was a specialist in all the areas, you name it, Shaktam. There's nothing that he has not written about Devi, starting from Saundarya, Lahari, everything. And Subramanya, Kaumaram, nothing he has not written about Subramanya. Ganapatyam, he has written about Ganapati. Mudakara, Modakam, Vishnu, Bhajagovindam. So one who is qualified in all the branches is the only one who can say which is the supreme one. Therefore, Sivoham, Advaita, Vedanta, Shankara is a valid philosophy. And that's what the goal of every Hindu should be. There's no time to go through the rest of this Dasasloki and the thing, so we will conclude right here, finally, with this one beautiful poetry that I read long ago during my college days in Shakespeare. Shakespeare was one of those rishis who came very close to what we used to teach in Hinduism. This is from a play called Tempest. After the shipwreck, Prospero conducts a show. Then at the end he says, our revels are now ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and all melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers and the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yep, all which it inherit shall dissolve. Like this insubstantial pageant, faded and leave not a track behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made of. And our life, a little life, is surrounded with the deep sleep. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
So your talk, we could listen to you for another hour or two and not be satisfied. And you really made one thing come true. Guru Amrit Ki Khan. That is who you are. Or Bina Guru, Gyan Kahan Se Aave. Both of those things absolutely resonated in every part of my body as you spoke. So grateful, so grateful.
Thank you, Shivalaji.
Yes, and we look forward to many more lectures from you. And I will separately talk to you and schedule.
Please.
Schedule.
Love to.
All of us. Sadhar Pranam.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Shivaya.